Welcome, everybody, to what I think is the 17th episode of the Realist here at Realist Lounge, the illustrious Realist Lounge Studios, I believe. I'm thinking I'm correct here. If not, then I lied, and everything I say is a lie. I am joined today by Commander Mel.
What's up, boys and girls?
So, yeah, we're here to talk about some, what I believe is some really super duper awesomely awesome stuff.
Indeed.
So, Mel, would you like to introduce what our topic today is? Well, one of our topics today is?
Blatantly. Our initial topic today is something near and dear to my heart and my brain. The brain part we have to question, but we'll worry about that later. Since we were all super psyched about the release of the Deadpool video game, which is awesome. You guys should go play it. If you haven't, I'm going to smack you. So today, our main technical term, is about Deadpool. We're going to teach you guys all about Deadpool, the delightful Canadian merc with a mouth.
Yes! Now, another thing that I wanted to throw out too, because of course we're going to talk about Deadpool, because Deadpool is just that fucking awesome. And if you don't believe Deadpool is awesome, then just in the comment section, send us your address. And no, I'm just kidding. No, we won't drive out to your house and make fun of you. But we will point a wagging finger at you.
We might call Michael Scott and a Dwight Schrute and show up to your house and wait for you so we can ridicule you. I'm just saying. I can't make any promises, guys.
Yeah, about that. Now, one thing, there are a lot, and when I say a lot, I mean a metric buttload of awesome movies.
Oh, yes.
So many awesome movies, and they are all, technically, I thought that May and June were gonna be like, oh, this is the month of geek. This is where everything good and geeky is going on. Cause we got Game of Thrones and Iron Man and God, World War Z and all this other shit, all this geeky shit, going on. And lo and behold, oh, can't forget about Man of Steel. There was Man of Steel.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna correct you. I'm just saying.
Oh, heck, fucking Superman, whatever, anyway. Anyway, that guy, that dude. But, there was so much going on. I was like, man, dude, it doesn't get any geekier than this. And I was wrong, apparently, because, just in the month of July alone, in this beautiful month of July, we are going to have not just, the Wolverine. Not just that, we got Wolverine, but we also got a movie that has a word in it that I have a hard time saying at times, so forgive me, but Pacific Rim. So there you go.
I was like, is it Pacific or is it the word rim?
Yeah. It's like, oh, I can say rim all day long. Rim.
I say rim, bad things come to mind, and then I'm like,
yeah, I don't. Yeah,
I'm like, wait, we're not doing that to the Pacific.
It's like, wait, no,
not that Pacific Rim, no.
No. We have which I say that largely because when I growing up as a kid, the word Pacific and the word specific used to sound the same to me.
Right.
So yeah, and sometimes even I catch myself at times when I say Pacific, sometimes it sounds like I did just say specific. So yeah, I just want to go ahead and throw that out there. But 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 it's not just that. It's not just that. We also have VHS 2, which is a little bit more horror centric, but is one of those cult. It's a sequel to one of those cult classic or more recent cult hit movies that came out, I want to say within the last year or so. There was like a horror, which is yet another word that I have a hard time saying.
Horror.
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 It was a horror anthology, which is something you don't get a lot of anymore these days. That was more of an 80s and 90s thing,
Yeah.
with Creep Show, Tales from the Dark Side, so on and so forth. But they have a sequel to that coming out this month, if I'm not mistaken. And we also have Red 2.
Yes!
Electric Boogaloo.
I'm so excited. I freaking loved
uh,
the first Red film.
mhm.
I'm so excited to see the second one. But Friday, July 19th, which is the release date for Red 2, I'm either going to have to say take a double whammy that day, or I'm going to have to choose one Friday and then one Saturday, because the RIPD
Oh,
also comes out
yes.
that day. And if you know only a few things about me by listening to us this entire time, one of those things should probably be that I love Ryan Reynolds.
No, no, no. You mega love Ryan
I
Reynolds.
mega love. It's not even a joke. The movie Just Friends, where he's a fat teenager that sings "I Swear" into the mirror.
Oh, God.
Think I was not like, hey man, I'm slightly still in love with you. Only slightly. The braces, they throw me off a little bit, but I still love you. You keep singing "All for One," and I don't give a damn what you do. So.
Well, and see, here's the thing about RIPD, and I'm gonna put in the caveat on this one, because I'm gonna echo something that I've heard tons of people say about RIPD. And let me go ahead and preface everything I'm about to say with, I love Ryan Reynolds, I love Mary Louise Parker, I love Jeff Bridges, I love Kevin Bacon, I even love that old Chinese man that they got in the movie. I think they paid him for like 2 seconds. For 2 seconds worth of work, because I think he's only in the movie for like a short amount of time. But James Hong, who many of you may know as Lo Pan from Big Trouble in Little China, he's always the token Chinese guy.
Yes.
And matter of fact, I want to say he was also in, who was it that had the commercials where it had the Chinese guy and it was like, again? I forget who it was, but that's the same guy.
Yes. I don't know
And
who that
he
is,
is
though.
just
I'm trying
amazing.
to think of what commercial that is.
I don't remember the commercial. I just know this man has been in so many different movies. He's a staple of just everything. He's in everything. And matter of fact, this isn't his first movie with Ryan Reynolds, oddly enough. At least I don't think it is. I want to say he's been in something else with Ryan Reynolds. I mean, I might be wrong, but whatever. Doesn't matter. Don't give a damn. You can correct me later. I don't care. But
we're
one
gonna
thing,
start playing that game that Conan O'Brien does on his show, where the fans
yeah,
try and correct what he says, and we're like, yes, that would be correct, except you're wrong.
yeah, exactly. This is my show. This is my house. Wait, this is my house, and I live here. Matter of fact, I'll give it to you in Spanish too. Es my casa en no BYK. There you go. What?
That's amazing.
Probably fucked all that up. But anyway, but no, I want to give a caveat on RIPD, because that is a movie that a lot of people have said, wow, this looks like Men in Black, but with demons and ghosts and the afterlife and shit. And you know what? You would be correct. However,
Yeah.
shut your whore mouth.
Like,
Uh,
well, you think that. Thank God nobody asked you your opinion.
Exactly, because Cynthia and I saw the trailer for this when we saw World War Z. This was the first time she had seen the trailer. I'd seen it millions of times, and we both looked at each other, and we kind of did have that similar thought. But the difference is that, you know what? I don't really like Men in Black anyway. So even if this looks like Men in Black on paper, it could not be worse than Men in Black. I'm just gonna say that right now, because I hate Men in Black. I haven't liked Men in Black since the first one. The second and third one, just wow, too
Yeah,
much.
I was a huge fan of Men in Black 1.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I was kind of like, oh, Will Smith, I still like you, but
I don't know about the rest of
the
y'all.
rest of this, You got me the first time, but I'm not
You
really sure.
snuck that shit in.
Yeah, yeah. It's like you got me the first time, but I'm not sure I'm going to continue to buy this.
Right.
So yeah.
I'm actually, you know what? Because Wolverine technically comes out at the butt end of this month. I kind of want to mention another film that comes out the same day that's technically not in our wheelhouse as far as, geeky stuff goes, but it's a little bit of counter programming that they're putting in on the same day that Wolverine comes out, which is weird, but I think it might work. And not to mention, this movie technically is about somebody who is a geek, so I kind of feel compelled to talk about this movie, and also I really want to see it. And that is The To-Do List.
Yeah.
With Aubrey Plaza and Bill Hader, because I'm just going to say it right now. Aubrey Plaza is the most beautiful, awkward little skinny girl that I have ever thought was attractive. If you've never seen Safety Not Guaranteed, A, slap yourself. B, go get on Netflix. It's on there. Watch that shit because it's fucking. It's just so. It is the ultimate hipster time traveling movie, and that's all I can say on that. But I say that because it is an indie film in every sense of the word, and it's just good. But this movie is something different. This is the To-Do List. Just looks awesome. But we're gonna get into more of that later. First, I want to talk about the man of the hour.
Woo!
Man of the hour with the power, and he's not the Babe.
Right. Triple H, move over. It's time for
Exactly.
Triple W.
Yes. Oh, yes. First off, for those of you who don't know, look, we're gonna do a little bit of history lesson here. Look, we know a lot of you kids know who Deadpool is. Remember, wait, you think you know who Deadpool is? I'm gonna challenge some of you. I'm gonna take the Pepsi challenge with some of you kids. I don't think you kids really know who Wade Wilson really is. And when I say Wade Wilson, and I'm going to allude to what Commander Mel was talking about, and that is the Triple W Wade Winston Wilson.
Right.
The only man who could have the name Wade, Winston, and Wilson in the same fucking name and be cool about it. And that is Deadpool. A lot of people know Deadpool. And Mel, I want to ask you a question.
What?
How many people have you ever spoken to that just randomly say Deadpool's their favorite superhero?
Never.
That is funny.
Like,
because I meet so many.
Seriously, never. No one ever says that to me. So I'm glad they say it to you. I'm glad somebody thinks it. But
Well, no. It's not a good thing.
because it's
not a good
hero.
thing. Yeah, no. Because you know what? I'm gonna put some people on notice. I'm gonna put some people on notice because some of my closest friends, people I know as acquaintances, people that are co-workers of mine, people that I've worked with, people that both whether I've worked with them, professionally or not so professionally, people that are family members of mine. Whenever we talk about comic books, Deadpool always comes up. Or like if I mention Deadpool, it's always like, oh, dude, he's like my favorite superhero. When I talk to random kids on the street, they're like, man, Deadpool's my favorite superhero. And I'm like, really? And then that's when I go into geek mode. Because whenever, I'm going to tell you something about myself, people. Don't ever come to me and tell me something is your favorite if you have any inkling that I may feel the same way, because I'm gonna put you on notice, because it's gonna get awkward when I start saying, oh dude, I fucking love Deadpool. Oh man, dude, I remember I used to have the first issue with Deadpool's first appearance back in the New Mutants, man, dude. That was when it was going down. Oh my god, I remember when he used to be like an X-Force villain.
Yeah.
I remember when he used to not be funny. And then people start getting weird and like, yeah, I really liked him in that X-Men Origins Wolverine, and that's when I slap you.
That's when you're like, oh wait, nope, now you.
Most people don't even realize he's a comic book character, for Christ's sakes, and even the ones that do don't even read his comics, and that kind of makes me wonder: are you a fan? Are you a fan, or are you just somebody who thinks you like him?
Exactly.
So, I, I don't know. I don't mean to be that guy. I don't like being the hipster. I mean, because honestly, there's a fine line between a geek and a hipster.
Oh,
The only difference is how many shirts you own that have comic book and video game shit on it. I'm like 2 shirts away from being a hipster.
man, I find myself thinking that. Like, people start talking to me, and I tell everyone this story. I was like, saw a kid in the mall had a Triforce shirt on. I was like, oh my god! I love Legend of Zelda. It's so awesome. Are you gonna get Twilight? Or this was when Twilight Princess was coming out. Are you gonna get Twilight Princess? And the guy was like, what is Legend of Zelda? And I was like, dude, what the fuck? Wearing the Legend of Zelda shirt and you don't even know what it is? I hate that shit. I have always I'm like, man, that's a cool shirt. I have no idea who that is, so I'm not going to buy that because I'm not going to parade around promoting your product if I've got no clue what the fuck it is.
Right.
And so, yeah, that bothers the hell out of me. It's like, if you don't know anything about it, at least use Wikipedia.
Okay.
Come on now.
Cheat, for Christ's sakes. The internet makes it easy.
In the words of Aziz Ansari, I needed to know something about Joe Pesci, so I went to Wikipedia.
Exactly.
2 hours. I knew everything there was to know about Joe Pesci. I have information that if someone comes to rob me and they say, we're going to play trivia, and they ask me Joe Pesci questions, I'm going to know the
answer. I'm not getting shot.
Exactly. It's so easy these days. Come on. If you're going to say you like something, at least be a little educated about it.
Well, and you know what, Mel, we're gonna speak on that. I want to talk about that a little bit before we get deeper into the Deadpool rabbit hole.
Okay.
I remember I used to. Okay, for those who don't know me personally, I used to work at what is a Spencer Gifts, or as most people just commonly call it, Spencer's. Now, while I worked there, because we could just wear whatever we wanted, which was cool. So, sneeze. Sorry. Thank you.
No dying.
No dying. No dying. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. We got this. We got this. We got this. No anthrax. But basically, I came into work one day wearing a shirt with the Thundercat symbol on it. Another guy comes in, exact same shirt.
Wow.
And he's at the register. We're ringing him out or whatever. And I'm like, dude, fuck yeah, dude, Bones, man. I was like, dude, Thundercats, man, rep that shit. And this was back before geek shirts became a thing. Like, and I'm not trying to be the hipster guy here. It used to be wearing the geek flag or waving the banner for the things you like wasn't popular and wasn't considered cool. I'm talking about, this was like back in 2000, maybe 1999 or 2000, when geek was not in. Geek was not cool. Geek still got shoved in the lockers.
Not only that, you had to special order your geek shirt.
Exactly. And the internet was not as big as what it is today. And in order for me to have that Thundercat shirt, I had to go online. I had to find an online retailer who happened to sell that shirt, and hope to Christ he did not just take my money without giving me a legit product. So that is this to put into perspective for you. And it just wasn't a cool thing to do, and people didn't just wear shirts like that, because if somebody did, you just assumed they knew what it was that they got. And it was about roughly this time when places like Hot Topic and Spencer's would occasionally sell shirts like that from time to time. And guy comes in, I'm like, hey, Bones, dude, Thundercats. I was like, who's your favorite Thundercat, dude? I was like, man, me personally, man, I was more of a Panthro guy, dude, because I don't know, man, Panthro was just cool like that. Not to mention well, let's go ahead and put this out on Front Street. Being black and growing up as a kid, you didn't really have a lot of people that you could look up to who were the same color you were in comic books and video games and cartoons. So Panther was like the closest thing to a black dude on the show.
Yeah.
And his voice even kind of, I might actually think he may have been voiced by a black guy. I actually think that's the case.
I think he
But
was.
I believe so. He was the closest thing you get to relating to that kind of a character. So I was like, dude, yeah, fucking Panthro, bitch. Man, dude, fuck Lion-O shit, man. That man, fuck. Wait, yeah, Chitara's all right.
I like Katara.
Yeah, no, Chitara, now we straight. But fuck them other motherfuckers. No, but and he looked at me like, he's like, "What's Thundercats?"
Oh god.
And at first, I thought he was trolling me. I was like, "You're bullshitting, right?" You got like literally, that was the first thing came out. I was like, "You got to be bullshitting." You don't know what? I was like, "You're wearing the shirt. That's the symbol, Thundercats." Oh, you know what that is, right? He was like, "I don't." He's like, "I don't. I've never heard of Thundercats. I just bought the shirt because I thought it was cool."
God.
And I was like, "You son of a bitch, get the fuck out." Get the fuck out.
Made me
No,
cry.
it just, and like I said, I don't want people to think that like I'm that guy that's like, I think you're fucking stupid if you buy shirts that are cool, because I am. But, but also, like, I don't wear any shirt representing, because to me, a t-shirt is something that represents who you are and what you believe in and what you like.
Yeah.
To me, that's a commitment. I wear a Metal Gear Rising Revengeance shirt because I fucking love the game.
Mm-hmm.
I have a shirt with the Shock Jockey symbol from Bioshock Infinite on it because I fucking love the shit out of that fucking power and I love the game.
Right.
I have shirts like I have shirts that rep my love for Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones because I'm fans of that shit. And when I see other people with that, it tells me that they are fans too, and it lets us know it's an identifier,
Right. We have
for who's in.
that mental fist bump.
Right.
Like I had that today. Went to the grocery store because I lead such an exciting life that way, and I'm wearing my I prefer Beast Mode Gears of War shirt today. And I always wear it so proudly. I get all schnazzed up in my red Converse to match and all that shit. And this guy at the grocery store looks at me and he makes eye contact and we both nod. They're like, "Yeah, cogs, bitches."
Look, you know that you guys are both in on the fandom.
Exactly.
Ah, see, why aren't more people like that?
Good stuff.
Heck, Cece and I, Cynthia and I, we went to go see. No, actually, no, it wasn't Cynthia. It was Scuzzy. Those of you who watched the Deadpool video, all three of you, Scuzzy is a longtime friend of mine. He's probably my oldest living friend. And he and I, sometimes we do what we call like bro dates. And like I was hanging out one day and I was like, dude, I'm not doing shit. I was like, hey dude, you want to go see The Purge? He was like, man, I don't really have any money. I was like, fuck it, dude, I'll treat you. Literally, that's how it went down. We go to see The Purge, and I'm, getting dressed. I don't put a lot of thought into what I wear, by the way. So I just grab the first shirt that's sitting on top of the pile that doesn't smell like ass, and I go out. And the guy at the snack bar, he's looking at me. He keeps staring at me, like trying to figure out whether or not I'm a pretender or I'm for real.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, dude, is that, he's like, you know who that is on your shirt, right? I was like, fuck yeah, I know who it is. It's fucking Thanos, bitch. Don't hate. Infinity Gauntlet, son. What? The only man crazy enough to be in love with death. What? And he was like, dude, bones. Bam. Blowed it up, bruh. It just, I don't know. There's just something cool about that. Knowing who look, if you're a pretender, that's cool. Just don't let me know.
Right.
Because I'll just make fun of you.
Right.
And there you go. And that's how it is with Deadpool. I think there are more pretenders than there actually are people who really are in on Deadpool. That being said, Mel, enlighten the good people about what Mr. Wade Winston Wilson is all about.
All right. First and foremost, I'm going to give you guys a little history of the history lesson. Deadpool is actually a youngin' by comic standards. His
Oh
first
yeah.
first foray into comics was in February of 1991.
Hmm.
You know, most of you hipsters age.
Some people weren't even born when
Some of you
Deadpool
weren't
came
even born yet. He's actually a villain in New Mutants. The way he came about, though, is really funny to me because, like, the guy that created it, oh man, his name slips my mind now. Oh shit. His creator actually showed it to one of his friends, who is actually another comic book artist, and was like, dude, what do you think of my character? And the friend goes, dude, that's Deathstroke. So instead of scrapping the character and trying to, come up with something a little bit better, he's like, nope, we're going to name him Wade Wilson because that sounds like Slade Wilson.
Yes.
So if knowing his name and knowing where he came from is quite important. So that's first.
And also keep in mind that the creator Rob Liefeld, who can't draw feet or hands, uh, most of you guys who are artists and into the comic book industry and you know who Rob Liefeld is, you know where I'm coming from. Have you ever seen a foot in any of his comics? Yeah. Or a hand? Yeah, thought not. But Fabian Nicieza, that was actually the person he was talking to, who is a legend
Right.
in the comic book business. Most people don't know this, but he's probably most famous for his X-Men, X-Force, and New Warriors writing. And he's actually written for Deadpool before and for the Thunderbolts. He's actually kind of Marvel's golden boy
Right.
for the most
That's
part.
what I was going to say. Is that if there's something that Marvel's had a hand in, chances are his hand was in there.
Yeah, if it has an X in it,
Right.
he wrote that shit. Fabian did that shit. But no, take us further on down the rabbit hole.
All right. Well, for this next part, guys, I'm going to go ahead and say Deadpool has teamed up with everyone and their freaking mom.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys don't know, of course, like I said, he started out as a villain, and generally speaking, he's always the anti-hero. Like, don't ever get it
Right.
twisted. He might fight for the bad guys, but he's going to fight the dirtiest way possible. He has been in an absolute ton of comic books. He's got quite a kind of a distinguished history to have such a short lifespan.
I was gonna say he's what 22 years and going right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he just recently could buy his own liquor.
Exactly. That's no good. As we all know. Well, actually, let's educate even further. Deadpool was actually part of the Weapon X program. You guys are going, huh? Weapon X? That sounds familiar. Because of a little bitch called Wolverine.
What?
Actually, Wolverine isn't a bitch. I love Wolverine. I'm just.
Bitch is a term of endearment on this
Yes,
show.
absolutely. He is part of the Weapon X program. He has the healing factor, just like Wolverine does. Unfortunately, his healing factor is mental, like more mental than physical.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that sounds really strange, but you guys will understand in a second. Wolverine, like, I'm hurt, I'm healed. Mm-hmm. Deadpool actually he has a psychosis, so he has to kind of first of all think about it because he's fucking nuts.
Well, yeah, no, he's crazy as cat shit.
But the Weapon program actually kind of jacked up his mind a little bit, which is why he talks like such a loony.
So, you just want to say he has two different voices in his head,
right?
Which never really had personification or vocalizing until recently with the Deadpool game. But honestly, that's about how I imagined his two different voices sound: one juvenile and one more intellectual.
Dude, not only that, like this constant instability and never really being sure of what the hell he's talking about makes him perfect for comics.
Mm-hmm.
because his backstory has changed 8 million times.
Oh god,
And
I
he's
want to say his appearance, like his under the mask appearance, has changed a couple of times as well.
Yeah, but with his instability and him retelling his own story, we'd never know the truth. You could change that shit every day, and we'd be like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah, he's kind of like the Joker in that regard. Like we've gotten a million different Joker origins.
Right.
None of them have been cited as actually being true.
And see, to be honest, that bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it bothers me more with some of the traditional characters. Like, I'm sorry, I know Bruce Wayne's story. If
Mm-hmm.
you try and change it, which we talked about on the comic book show,
Yep.
I will stab you in the face with a soldering iron. No.
Look, you can tell alternate timeline origins
Right.
like Earth 2 and some of that other bullshit you did with Flashpoint, but
You better.
no, the main universe better stay the same.
Right. Like, don't make me kill you now. Um. So, but with Deadpool, it doesn't bother me because he's crazy. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like, whatever he said, I don't know. I have a special little place for my special little Deadpool. It's kind of how I feel about it. I'm like, aw, what's your origin story today, little buddy? Whatever you say, and I just go with it. I don't know. My brain is broken when it comes to Deadpool. But anyway, that has nothing. Um, throughout his varied comic book history, which I will run through for you guys in a minute, you will figure out that as what batshit crazy as this dude is, he can speak 4 fucking languages.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. He can speak
Yup.
English, Spanish, German, and
I think it's
Japanese.
Japanese.
Is the other
Yeah.
one? This guy,
Yeah, Japanese is the other
he's
one.
like a fucking genius
Mm-hmm.
that happens to be batshit crazy. Which is usually how it works, you guys, if you didn't know. Um, he is a crazy awesome martial artist. Like, as stupid as
Mm-hmm.
he acts and as crazy as he acts,
Now he's a cold-blooded killer.
he is an assassin, guys. Don't let his goofiness fool you. He is an
No.
assassin, and he is actually considered very highly as an assassin.
Mm-hmm.
To the point that in one of his little stories, does everybody know who Taskmaster is?
Oh fuck yeah,
Taskmaster
Taskmaster,
is in like
bitch.
the Marvel vs. Capcom. What the fuck's wrong with you guys? Taskmaster, which again, if you don't know who Taskmaster is, he can actually beat anyone because he can photogenically copy the way they fight,
Mm-hmm.
and redo their moves against them. He could not beat Deadpool because Deadpool is so like that shit.
He's so erratic.
Yeah, with the way he fights, he can't be copied, which is another awesome thing about him. Just saying.
I would even say probably one of the best issues I've ever read, of Deadpool. Some of the best ones are when he and Taskmaster, I can't talk, Taskmaster, team up
Yeah,
or fight each other. Matter of fact, one of my favorites was during Dark Reign, and Deadpool was trying to do like a bait and switch, and he had Taskmaster disguise himself as Deadpool.
yeah,
And it was one of those things where like he even made a comment of it then that he can barely do the things that Deadpool does because of how erratic that he is. I mean, so whether fighting him or just trying to imitate him for Deadpool's own benefit,
it's
that lets
difficult.
you know,
Right.
because Taskmaster is probably, as far as assassins in the Marvel universe, fuck the Marvel universe, in comics in general, there's 3 assassins that you think of as far as the top dogs. It's Deadpool, Deathstroke, and Taskmaster.
Yeah.
But I would say probably the scariest thing about Deadpool is the fact that he can come back from pretty much anything.
Oh my god, dude. His healing factor is his is ridiculous. Like, we've all seen Wolverines enacted a million times.
Oh yeah.
But we've also seen Wolverine be vulnerable. Where
Mm-hmm.
Deadpool, you can't poison the guy.
Nope.
He can't get drunk, which we pointed out in the video game.
Oh yeah.
He's like, what does he say? He's like, you
Favorite.
may as well not even try with the beer because the healing factor, I can't get drunk. But you can't do anything to the guy.
Nope.
Because his healing factor is so erratic and so rapid, you can't do any. Basically, and this is everyone's tactic throughout the history of Deadpool, and this even goes into into Marvel Zombies and everything.
Mm-hmm.
What you have to do is decapitate him and hide one of his body pieces where he can't find it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's happened on more than one occasion. I know that Nightcrawler's done it once.
Mm-hmm. Somebody else did
Somebody
it
else
too.
has done it too. I know it's happened at least twice.
Oh yeah. Another way to actually defeat Deadpool, and this is actually my favorite way, or at least the funniest to me anyway, is there's a comic during the Dark Reign series where Deadpool and Bullseye, who is masquerading as Hawkeye at the time, they're fighting each other, and Bullseye gets so irritated with Deadpool that he can't defeat him that he just says, "Hey, look, why does Norman Osborn want you dead?"
Mm-hmm.
And Deadpool's like, well, he owes me. Like he writes it down on a sheet of paper and says, and he just puts it in Bullseye's face. You never actually see the number, but he says he owes me this much money.
Mm-hmm.
And Bullseye's like, really? He's like, okay, look, write down your Swiss bank account number. I will wire you this money. If you can just lay low and pretend to be dead until this whole Norman Osborn thing blows over, you will get your money. And no lie, Deadpool just says, okay, cool,
He's like,
fight's over.
yeah, he's like, oh, all right, that's fine. Dude,
I mean,
actually, I really like that whole little arc where they're trying to, he does where he steals the information, like with Nick Fury, and they're trying to figure out how to actually kill all the Skrulls.
mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah, secret invasion
the secret
thing.
invasion deal, yeah, and then oh god, my internet. Hello.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. I was
Yeah, no,
like,
you're good, you're
I was
good.
like, what the hell's happening? Yeah, and then everything with Norman Osborn. Like, I thought that was a really good little twist, if you will. I avoid saying
Yeah.
twist because of M. Night Shyamalan, but
What's a twist?
what's a twist? Anyone who's seen Robot Chicken. Um,
God.
that's one of those things is I like how Marvel incorporates everyone into everyone's fucking business.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Fury is in everyone's business.
Oh God, yeah.
Like, but not only, all Nick Furies aside. um, Another one of my favorites, and it's because he's one of my favorite X-Men. I can't even take it. The Cable and Deadpool series.
Oh God, yeah.
That was good shit. That was good shit.
No, oh
Because
no, that was amazing.
they used to hate each other.
Mm-hmm. And they still
And
kind
they
of do.
still, pretty much everyone hates Deadpool. I mean, like,
Oh yeah.
even at one point we all know, he has to actually be on the same team as Wolverine. And of course he says, like, you just want me here as a token human. But they still hate each other when Wolverine and him are on the same team.
Oh yeah.
They're just like, I hate you
He
so
gets on
much.
everyone's nerves.
Yeah. So I think everyone hates Deadpool. But
I think it's safe to say.
yeah, but as long as he fights on your team, nobody seems to say anything.
Well, one thing I'll even point out too is that the thing that works for Deadpool, and I'm surprised Marvel hasn't duplicated this yet again, but Deadpool got a lot of his like in the early years, Deadpool was not necessarily considered the merc with a mouth. That didn't really come until later.
Oh,
Um,
his comic and everything wasn't even called that until 2009.
Right. It wasn't. It was not even really his catchphrase until like kind of later in his run. But the thing that really kind of sold him was that he was a hardcore killer. Yeah, he would crack jokes occasionally or like talk trash when he fought people, but it was not necessarily like over the top like it is now.
Right.
It was one of those things. He was more of a serious character, and then later down the road, he gained that cult popularity that he has even today, but it's even more widespread. But he was one of those types of characters that he just did batshit crazy stuff, and he was kind of like that borderline Daredevil style character, only with guns, and was a villain.
Yeah.
And later down the road, they were like, "Hey, let's rebrand this guy and make him more of a joke character." And the sad part is, it worked.
Yeah.
It's like, let's make this guy look. He already looks like Spider-Man. Let's play that up. Let's make him Spider-Man, only super over the top. And that's what happened. Even some of his earlier issues, and even till this day, they use that reference where he mimics Spider-Man a lot.
Yeah.
And they even make fun of it in the Deadpool video game at the very beginning. So I mean, I'll say this much: Deadpool has come a long, long, long way.
Indeed. Man, he's had so many damn, like his reboots and his changes, and now he's going to be this guy, and now he's going to be that guy. Oh, man. And he even has a new one, like a new revamp coming out this month.
Yeah, actually, they've been doing some stuff with him where he's been kind of doing like flashbacks.
Yeah.
I know he's got one where he's teaming up with the Heroes for Hire, Luke Cage and Iron Fist. And that's actually something that I find kind of entertaining, that you can put, Deadpool is kind of like the catalyst. You can put him with anybody.
Right.
You can team him up with anybody. I've seen this guy team up with the X-Men to great effect. He's teamed up with Wolverine. He has teamed up with Cable. He's teamed up with X-Force. The guy has worked for Kingpin in the past, and has even had some some dealings with other characters. Right now, he's actually with the Thunderbolts right now, which I want to say the current iteration of Thunderbolts is it's himself, Red Hulk, and a few other characters. Oh, Elektra and Venom as well, and Punisher, for Christ's sake. So it's like, this guy can work with anybody.
Right. Even though everyone hates him.
Yeah, I was about to say, and I know for a fact Punisher probably hates him more than anybody else.
Yeah.
Because he hates vigilantes, which he is. He's a self-loathing vigilante. He hates people who wear masks. Deadpool wears a mask. And he doesn't like people who talk shit. Deadpool talks a lot of shit.
Exactly. Like, man,
Deadpool talks more shit than Spider-Man.
Right. To sit in at breakfast with those people would be awesome.
God, it's gotta be amazing.
You gotta have those two sitting across the table. Like, he's gonna ask to pass salt, and the Punisher's just gonna shoot him.
Yeah, no, it's automatic. Matter of fact, speaking of team-ups and fighting, Mel, have you seen, the Bat in the Sun, the thing they did where it was like Batman versus Deadpool? Have you seen that?
I actually have not.
Oh my god, you need to see that, because some of the things we just spoke about, they make references to in that short. It's for those of you that don't know, matter of fact, you can actually find this. It's through Machinima, but it's called Bat in the Sun, and they do these things where they take video game and comic book and movie characters and pit them against each other. And they take Batman and put him up against Deadpool. In the past, they've done Lara Croft versus Nathan Drake. They've done Gambit versus Nightwing. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's interesting, but it gets crazy. But they actually do make some references to Deathstroke in that video.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to.
Yeah, you can't really get around it. I mean, it is what it is. But I think a lot of people should definitely if you're a fan of Deadpool in any way, shape, form, or fashion, you owe it to yourself to read his comic books because I think okay, you can be a fan of something without really investing a lot of time into it, but I don't think you really understand truly why you like something unless you actually indulge in it. I don't even think you can really call yourself a fan unless you like. I don't call myself a fan of Wonder Woman because I don't read her comics.
Mm-hmm.
I just say that I like Wonder Woman.
Right.
You know, I think she's an interesting. I find her interesting. I just don't follow her. I've only recently started reading some of her comics, and I'm still not that big into it. Deadpool, I have read Deadpool from start to finish. Daniel Way has probably handled Deadpool the best in recent memory, and is probably halfway responsible for Deadpool becoming popular again.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it just. I will say this though: if you want to get some of the best Deadpool entertainment, like if you really want to get into Deadpool and just do it right, I would say if you don't want to go all the way back to the beginning, if you don't want to start with the very early days of Deadpool, if you don't want to try digging up New Mutants, number 98 and X-Force and all this other shit, don't do it. Honestly, I could tell you a really good place to start that's fairly recent. You can actually start with Secret Invasion. His Deadpool #1 during the Secret Invasion, I guess Marvel story arc run. That's actually not a bad place to pick up because honestly, they kind of start the character off as though he has never been in a comic before. That's
Yeah.
actually it was kind of a reboot, and it's still in the spirit of the previous Deadpool comics. It's just that it's kind of better. Yeah, it's written differently, and it's actually the Deadpool that you know now. So, or there, you can play Marvel vs. Capcom. Take a pick.
That won't teach you
Which,
as much history, but hey, at least you'll know something about him.
yeah, I mean and honestly, I think that's actually where a lot of his popularity comes from now is because of that. I think it's because of Marvel vs. Capcom. But one of the things we didn't talk about, Mel, Deadpool is famous for one thing more than anything else. Fuck the personalities in his head. Fuck his superpowers. Fuck his attitude. He breaks the fourth wall more than any character in comic book history.
That is true.
And I think
Absolutely.
that's why he is so popular with like people who actually read the comic books. I think that's why he's so popular. Just because he addresses the fans more than any comic has ever hoped to do.
Yeah,
Even in the game.
and see, that's why I think that Deadpool as a character is like a perfect comic formula. He
Right.
can rewrite his own history. He has no problem reaching out and touching the audience, even if other characters within the comic react like, "Who the fuck are you talking to?" Because that's who he is. Like
Right.
he could do that, and I don't know. I just think he's awesome.
Yeah.
I
I love how you're just like, no.
I could wax all day with you guys, dude. And even in the like the more recent ones, of course, you know, it gets sillier and sillier. Like Deadpool core was just
That was crazy.
that was ridiculous, guys. If you want something that's really funny but doesn't exactly have a whole lot of substance, read that
Yeah.
because there's Lady Deadpool and there's a zombie Deadpool and there's a
It was a kid pool
Deadpool,
and
yeah,
dog pool.
all of those characters. And I mean, it's funny. It's just not real full of substance.
No.
But I mean, he's in the Marvel Now relaunch. I absolutely love, you know, he's like, you know what? You know what the problem is? All these Marvel characters. They all need to.
Yeah.
And he starts killing everybody, which is hilarious because then he figures out that there's infinite universes full of infinite heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Yeah.
he has to kill them all. Which leads
Ex-
to the one that's coming out this month is actually called Deadpool Kills Deadpool.
Right. I was gonna say.
Yeah, where there's infinite Deadpools killing Deadpools that are trying to kill the Deadpool called Dreadpool. Deadpool is after Deadpool.
That is just awesome.
It's all
It is too much.
mad shenanigans.
I need to actually get caught up on some of that with Deadpool, because for Father's Day, Cynthia gave me a gift card to the comic seller. So I need to go there and get my Deadpool fix, because I actually have not lately. I'm going to leave everybody with this. And this is something that I personally feel is probably if you're going to pick a scene of Deadpool that perfectly personifies who he is and what he does. If you just wanted to say, hey, look, what is something from a Deadpool comic that you saw that just absolutely sold you on who and what this character is, I can actually think of the perfect one for me. And that was, I can't remember the issue, so people forgive me. I'm a terrible person. But it's an issue of Deadpool during the more recent, probably, I want to say about around the 2009, 2010 run. And he's fighting a D-list villain named Tiger Shark. Which, honestly, if you are going to have a D-list character, the best place to put him in is in a Deadpool comic, because Deadpool uses villains that people don't think about and characters people don't think about better than any other comic.
Yep.
He actually makes them interesting. Like Taskmaster, people forgot about him for a long time.
No one gave a shit about Taskmaster.
Nobody cared. And honestly, Deadpool kind of raised his stock again.
Yeah.
And put him back in the forefront, because people are like, oh, wait a minute, Taskmaster actually can be cool. But there's a scene where he's fighting Tiger Shark, and, Deadpool has constant hallucinations. He's always seeing shit that isn't really there.
Right.
And he's fighting Tiger Shark, and, he gets to that point where he's like, oh, man, I just beat Tiger Shark. And, he's getting out of the limousine, and there's a red carpet, there's press everywhere, flashing lights, people are sticking microphones in his face. How does it feel now that you just beat the pants off of Tiger Shark? Man, Deadpool, when's that new movie coming out? And there's even a point where you can tell that Deadpool's starting to recognize that it's a hallucination.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still choosing to ignore it when he starts seeing Cousin It and Tinkerbell holding microphones up to him, asking him about, what's his next big thing. And then that's when he finally realizes, wait a minute.
He's like, wait.
Back to reality. And he's washed up on a beach with his own decapitated head lying in his lap, and two kids poking him with a stick. And that's when he's like, oh yeah, I lost that fight. and that's why I love Deadpool, because he's the type of character Marvel's not afraid to show him lose. They're not afraid to show him get his ass kicked. They're also not afraid to let you know this guy is fucking crazy. And he does silly shit. What other comic book would do that? I don't even think Spider-Man does that. Not even close.
Well, dude, have you ever seen, this is something I actually just saw for the first time earlier. The creator was quoted as saying, I hate that I can't remember his exact wording. He was like, dude, we thought we were going to get canceled any issue. So we did whatever the hell we wanted, because we figured there wasn't a tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, look how well it freaking worked.
And, I wish, honestly, because people, you may not know a lot about Marvel Comics and the way they do business and the way comic industry as a whole works. You don't get very many chances. If your book is not selling, it gets dropped. Honestly, I can believe what was said, because honestly, I don't think that Marvel believed Deadpool would work on his own. I seriously believe that, because they did just let them do whatever they wanted. I saw so many different Deadpool comics where none of them made a goddamn lick of sense.
Right.
You honestly didn't have to read it. It was one of those, what, I always say Deadpool was the Cowboy Bebop before Cowboy Bebop, because I always feel Cowboy Bebop was that show you didn't have to watch in order. There were only like 4 episodes you actually needed to watch
Yeah.
to know what was going on in the story. And that's the first episode, the 5th episode, maybe I think it was it was a two-parter called Jupiter Jazz, which I don't remember which episodes those were, but they were back to back. And then the
The
last
last
episode.
episode. Yeah, exactly.
And actually, and the episode before that. That's it. You don't need to know anything else. You could watch that show at any time and be okay.
Yeah.
And Deadpool was that way. You didn't have to read number 1. You could read number 12.
It would never matter because then your brain is just like his.
Yeah, no better, no worse.
Whatever. I think that's the biggest part of my allure with Deadpool is he doesn't have to follow anything.
No.
Like, we all know, and we've talked about it. We talked about it on the comic book show. If you present us with a hero with a very textured, specific story, we have a hard time believing whatever comes after that does not coincide with history.
Right.
With Deadpool,
Yeah,
whatever.
it's like it doesn't even fucking matter.
It doesn't matter. None of it matters. He's so, like you said with breaking the fourth wall, he's balls to the wall.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter. You will sit there, and once you have bought into the Deadpool universe, you will read an entire comic book about him cooking pancakes.
Yes, and you know what? You will love it.
You'll love it. You're like, man, that was the most exciting time of making pancakes I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, no. Cynthia, she was watching me play the game, and I was going back trying to get some trophies and stuff like that. And there's a part where, you can make pancakes.
Yeah.
Just like he did in that one issue. And she was laughing because the whole time I was like singing the Making Pancakes song. I was having a good time with it. And that's the thing. There is probably very few characters in comic book history who are as popular as Batman, Wolverine, Spider-Man, and, so on and so forth. The classics.
Yeah.
Deadpool is probably the most popular character who is not at least,
40?
50, 40 to 50 years old. Because think about it. Was it 1991? That's not that long ago.
Right.
That's recent. Like I said, he just barely can buy his own alcohol, and it just, I don't know. I feel like that is probably, I would be shocked if he's not in the Guinness Book of World Records for being the youngest and most popular comic book character.
Oh yeah.
But I feel like we've sufficiently schooled everybody on Deadpool. I feel like because I know Mel, you and I, we can talk about Deadpool till the cows come home, and and you know what, we would be perfectly okay with it. We'd just be like, you know what, hey, shit happens.
Right.
And sometimes Deadpool shows up, but you know what, hey, whatever. But one thing I do want to get to is all these movies, and we're actually kind of we've been on Deadpool for a while, and we don't want to keep you guys too long, so we're gonna go ahead and get into the movies that are coming up, because I didn't even think about this. We mentioned some of them earlier, but there are even more coming in August that I don't even want to talk about them, because you know what, we'll just be here even longer. But I do want to point out that we will probably talk about the ones in August at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Once we get all this other shit out of the way.
Yeah, dude, my God, we have so much stuff in July. Again, guys, if you kind of missed our list, Nerdgasm Supreme, Pacific Rim, Pacific.
Yes.
Rim. It even said, like, I said specific, and I knew that I didn't.
Yeah.
I doubled back. I was like, I said Pacific, damn it.
Now you're going to be self-conscious.
Yeah. Now I'm not sure anymore. That's Friday, July 12th. We have got R.I.P.D., which is one it's not so much fitting into any nerdy thing as it's just about police for undead police.
Right.
And it's Jeff Bridges and Ryan Reynolds. That and Red 2 are both Friday, July 19th.
Mm-hmm.
The Wolverine and the To-Do List are both Friday, July 26th. And then
Oh,
there's a
God,
crap load
yes.
of stuff in between that's touring
Right.
that we might not even see here in the States.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be completely honest. I've been kind of itemizing what I want to attempt to review, and honestly, for those who don't know, we've actually kind of added some members. I haven't really talked about it a whole lot because I'm not done finalizing, like, the whole logistics of it. So it will come and go as it can. So please bear with me, and those who I have talked to about it, bear with me as well, because I honestly have no fucking clue.
We just seen this,
I
guys.
Yeah, I mean, I won't lie. I don't. I'm not good with organization, and maybe that's one of the reasons why I do need somebody to handle the organization for me, because I honestly don't have a bloody clue how to organize. Like honestly, you shouldn't trust me to organize a warm cup of piss because it just won't work. It's just a fact.
It's just a
Just
fact.
it is what it is. But I will say this: one of our new members, Chris, who runs the gamingflow.blogspot.com website, which I just affectionately call Gaming Flow. He's been doing this for years. He's a local guy here in Memphis with us. But check it out if you take the time. Please do, especially if you're a fighting game fan. And considering we've talked about Marvel vs. Capcom, then you should probably already be aware. But he actually suggested something that I was going to suggest anyway, and I'm giving him credit for this because he said it first. But I do want to actually organize us to get together and go see Pacific Rim, and maybe, but better than what we did last time, attempt to actually record a review for it after we see it.
Yeah, but dude, with Iron Man 3, we saw it, we came, we conquered, we ate IHOP, and then it was like
And
3
it just kind
o'clock
of
in the morning.
I know, it was like we had so much fun talking about Iron Man, we forgot to hit the record button.
Right.
And which, by the way, I also want to apologize yet again because there have been some other shows that have been missed because of that. But we won't get into that. We won't get into that. That's we'll get to that when we get to it. However, I do want to try and do something for Pacific Rim. I also want to do something for I would actually do something for Red 2 and RIPD. I can't talk. RIPD, but that one's going to be a little bit tougher because that's the same weekend, and that's going to be one of those, honestly, I'm kind of thinking whoever goes sees which one.
Right.
And leave it at that, because I've seen it work for other people. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I kind of have the sneaking suspicion I'm going to see both regardless, because Cynthia has just as big a heart on for Ryan Reynolds as you do. And and she is as equally interested in Red 2, so we're going to end up seeing those. But whoever goes sees what, I don't care who, what, do whatever. I'm just going to say, hey, if you go see it, let me know, and we can try and get something recorded. And
okay,
then,
so Brain Explosion.
okay, Brain Explosion.
Brain Explosions, because they're good. We're playing 6 Degrees of Ryan Reynolds here, because we're talking about RIPD, and we're talking about Ryan Reynolds, and we're talking about Deadpool. One thing we kind of really didn't mention
Oh, yes, we didn't really go into it very much.
is the fact that Ryan Reynolds actually played Deadpool.
Yeah,
That X-Men Origins movie. But I'm going to point out to you guys that while it is 2 people that I absolutely love, I did not enjoy that performance that much. I know at one part of the movie, he is changed and altered and his mouth is sewn shut, and it's difficult to be the Merc with a mouth with your mouth sewn shut.
Yeah,
and
about that.
I don't know. I thought for it to be Ryan Reynolds, who is in essence a normal everyday Deadpool.
Yeah, pretty much.
The smartest smartass ever. I thought it would be better, but I'm just throwing that out there. We know, Ryan Reynolds, I love you. And I'm thinking of you all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
Every day.
But yeah, your Deadpool is not really that great, so yeah.
No, at least not that. I think he could do Deadpool better. if it was just his movie.
Yeah, if it was just Deadpool, then I think it would have been awesome. But like,
Yeah.
as an aside, and then the story he was in, it was just kind of like, oh.
Yeah, let Marvel get Deadpool back, I guarantee, and let Ryan Reynolds stay attached. I bet it'll be better.
Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it now. I think what we're probably gonna try and do. I definitely want to get everybody together for the Wolverine because that's just something everybody from the lounge needs to be in on.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this: Pacific Rim, most definitely. As far as stuff that's in between, there's gonna be some stuff I'm gonna try and sneak and go see, like VHS 2. I'm gonna go see that because even though a lot of people don't like the first one, VHS 1 is kind of a cult hit. Really, it's one of those things that like it's more well liked in underground circles,
Mm-hmm.
and but I do recommend if you have Netflix, VHS, the original one, is on Netflix, and watch it. I'll go ahead and tell you right now, it's crazy. And I really only like 2 or 3 of the actual stories of the several that are there. Some of them, they jump from being about normal stories to supernatural stories to being ghost stories to being demon stories, just being whatever the fuck we thought of that week.
Yes.
Stories. And it's weird. And this new one looks even fucking weirder. If that makes any sense. But VHS 2 is something I'm going to go check out and definitely review. And the to-do list I'm thinking is going to make it to my to-do list as well. I don't know if I'm going to review it, so I don't want anybody to get too excited about whether or not we do a review on that. If it comes up, it comes up. If you ask for it, I will definitely do it. But we try to keep most of our movie reviews relegated to stuff that is geek culture relevant. And the to-do list is, but it's not so much the same thing. It's more about a geek, not so much geek culture. But anyway.
Right.
One thing I want to talk about. Let's go ahead and get into these movies. First up, let's talk about Pacific Rim, because Pacific Rim has all of my favorite things in it, rolled up like a little sushi roll. Like, I feel like Pacific Rim is like sushi. It's like all my favorite things are the individual pieces of rice, and they just wrapped it up in some seaweed wrap and threw it to me and said, fuck it, here you go, man, have a whole tray of this shit.
They're just like, yes, here.
That's what it is, because let's go ahead and break down the particulars. For those who don't know, Pacific Rim is directed by one of the 4 cornerstones, one of the 4 pillars of geek culture, like one of the 4 gods. I mean, you have like Joss Whedon, J.J. Abrams, who's the other one that I'm blanking on?
I'm sitting here like, yeah, I can think of 3. If you have a 4th.
You know what? I'm gonna go on a limb and say James Cameron.
Okay.
Just because, he kind of is that guy. He doesn't make movies very often, but he is that guy that you think of when you think of geek culture sometimes. Yeah. He's actually kind of interchangeable with Steven Spielberg. I wanted to put George Lucas in there, but honestly,
no.
Yeah, about that. But Guillermo del Toro. Oh, no. Peter Jackson. We're going through Peter Jackson.
Oh my god, I feel like such a bastard.
You are a bad hobbit, sis. But no, there's Joss Whedon, there's J.J. Abrams, there's Peter Jackson, and Guillermo del Toro. Guillermo del Toro is that guy who is well known in geek culture. He's brought us Pan's Labyrinth, he's given us Hellboy, and he's just good. The guy is a good director. He knows how to work with geek properties. And much like J.J. Abrams, he was that guy for a while that every time you looked up, he was being announced as directing something or being attached to a project. Like, for a while, he was doing The Hobbit. For a while, they were talking about he was going to be the guy who was going to take over Star Wars. For a while, he was the guy they were talking about who was going to be doing Avengers way back. Every time you look up, that motherfucker is in something.
He's got his hands in all the pockets.
Oh yeah, no, all the pockets. Matter of fact, if you're not familiar with his work, once again, he is God. He kind of work. Well, I don't want to say he kinda, because he technically just did. But as far as a director goes, he's actually technically working on Hellboy 3. He's actually in pre-production with the Incredible Hulk TV show that's going, not going, may happen, may not happen. He's also the director of my favorite Blade movie, which is Blade 2. Bad CGI aside, I fucking love that movie.
I'm shocked, Ernie. I'm a little let down.
No, I'm sorry.
Not because of Blade, because I fucking love Blade. I don't give two damns. I hear the song "Sandstorm" by Darude. It is awesome.
Oh no, it's amazing.
But no, what I'm disappointed about is you said the number 2.
Oh, rewind. My favorite one, Blade 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Okay, now dude, I swear to God, like, we could be talking about anything. If you say the number 2, my brain already says. So you could be like, this person is turning 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm going to go ahead and tighten that one up a little more. Because you know what? The man also brought us Hellboy 2. Electric Boogaloo. The Golden Army. And I mean, he is honestly just one of those guys. He's also a producer of so many different things. The man has been an executive producer on Kung Fu Panda 2, I want to say. He has been an executive producer on God, so much stuff. He just does a lot of shit. Yeah, and that's just what you need to know. But the man Guillermo del Toro is a geek director. He is the man who, if you want your geek property done right, he is the guy you should probably go talk to, because the man is just that good. He is a huge fan.
What in the hell is that?
I have no idea. What is that?
What? Is that on your end? Is that on Skype? That's on Skype.
Really? Whoa.
That's an ad playing on Skype.
Really?
Yes.
It's not on my end.
What the fuck?
Okay, you know what? Whatever.
All my internet, I was like, dude, what the hell is that?
It's like, I didn't do that. Like, what the shit is that?
Yeah. Okay, now that my mind is exploded.
It's like, sorry. But no, Guillermo del Toro is a geeks director. He honestly, if you look at some of his credits and the things that he loves, he decided with his next project, he was like, you know what, this is what I want to do. I fucking love Godzilla. I fucking love giant robots. I love the Japanese culture around these things. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fucking blow your mind. I'm gonna bring back giant robots. I'm gonna make giant robots fucking cool again.
Because Michael Bay
Yeah, literally. And oh, by the way, they actually had some words about that. They kind of trolled each other. They trolled each other in the in some little comments that came out back about a couple of months ago. But you know, Guillermo del Toro said, look, I'm going to make giant robots sexy again. And he's like, here it is, Pacific Rim. And to give you guys the background on what Pacific Rim really is. And this is just the water cooler, the gist, the blurb on the back of the box. Basically, it's when an alien attack occurs, and it causes, there's this other world, some parallel dimension or something that's in the bottom of the ocean. It's a rift that they found, and all of these giant monsters came out of it. And they were attacking Japan, they were attacking Russia, they were attacking the entire globe, the United States and everything. Mm-hmm. What basically happens is these guys are like, hey, look, we need to fight back. And we don't have the way to do it. So they had to create monsters to fight monsters. And by that, they had to create giant fucking robots.
Yeah.
And basically, they've been doing pretty good with this until the Big Daddy shows up. Because they find out, hey, wait a minute. These monsters we've been fighting, these are just the babies.
Yeah.
Daddy didn't come home. Daddy don't appreciate what you done. So, and that's basically the gist of the movie. That is what it is in a nutshell. And I'm sorry, but okay, I'm gonna read the cast list to you, and please tell me you don't shit yourself when you hear all these names. You got Charlie Hunnam from Sons of Fucking Anarchy, Jax Teller in a giant robot. Yeah, I'm sold. Idris Elba. What? How do you? That's two big names right off the bat.
Indeed.
Oh, that ain't enough for you? That ain't enough? Fuck it, Charlie Day. Fucking Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Fuck it, we're throwing him in there too. There you go. Boom. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm sorry. oh, you weren't impressed yet. Ron Perlman. There you go. I'm dropping the mic. I'm walking away. I'm dropping the mic. I'm like, bye.
Guys, you're gonna have chafe marks if we continue.
Yeah, and that's the thing. This is a star cast. This is a star cast in a giant robot versus giant monster movie, and the action in it's pretty good. Look, I'm gonna tell you some shit right now. If your ass doesn't get a fucking hard on when you see a giant robot dragging a fucking ship, a fucking oil tanker out of the fucking water and dragging it like he's dragging a fucking samurai sword through the dirt. And he holds that bitch up and is using it like a fucking samurai sword. I don't know what to fucking tell you. I'm done. I'm done with you. We don't need to be friends. And you know what? You can go ahead and unfriend me on Facebook. So, there you go. Stop following me on Twitter, people. I'm done.
Oh, God. Dude,
I'm out.
I totally concur. Like, I think as humans, we have a hard time understanding, like, the scope of things like that. Which is another reason I love movies so much, is because, like, something that big. We don't ever see something that big. That's why they use it in so many damn movies.
That's why it works.
Why it works is because we're like, whoa! You don't see that every day. But, no, the reason I started laughing is because you said your ass gets hard on, and I just, like...
Yeah.
The 13-year-old boy in me thought that was really hilarious.
It's like do you? I don't know if you do this, Mel. I do this sometimes, but like you're like when you hear shit like that, does the inner Beavis and Butthead in you like go off? Like you're just like. But that's what it was. That's what it should be from now on. I do want to say this though. This is the last thing I kind of want to throw out about Pacific Rim. But basically, Michael Bay made some comments back in April about how Guillermo del Toro's Pacific Rim was a rip-off of his Transformers franchise. Yeah, I know, right?
Bitches.
No. He claims he wasn't talking about Del Toro at all. And in fact, he and Del Toro have already squashed their supposed feud. But, as far as I'm concerned, I don't give a damn. Because here, this is what Guillermo del Toro had to say about what Michael Bay said. He said, "We are far, far, far away from that," and by that he means Transformers in a very willing fashion. He said, "For good or bad, this is my movie, this is my universe and my creation. I do not create through comparison." And then this is when the gloves come off. He says, "The fights don't occur in well-lit, super cool, car commercial-looking environments. They occur in the middle of a raging sea storm or in a savage snowstorm. They happen in a universe that is incredibly saturated." And that was his kind of way of pointing out that what's been a staple for Michael Bay, is the fact that he uses his movies are basically big car commercials, at least with the Transformers anyway.
Right.
And I don't know, just
I think that's a perfect response. Like,
yeah, no, he
like,
did. He responded perfectly.
Would you like to get eloquently owned?
Oh yeah. Oh God, yes.
Here, let me take care of that for you. I'm gonna go ahead and own you in a very well thought out way.
I honestly feel like that conversation couldn't have gone better had Guillermo del Toro just rolled down the window of his stretch limousine and gone, "Pardon me, would you like any Grey Poop burn?"
Yes, yes, yes.
But I mean, it is like I said, that is what it is on that. But I want to talk about the double feature we got coming up now. And that's Red 2, Electric Boogaloo, and R.I.P.D. And Red 2, there really isn't a whole lot to say because honestly, if you saw Red, the first one with Bruce Willis, John Malkovich, and so on and so forth. First off, the lovely and beautiful Helen Mirren. Then you know what to expect out of Red 2. You know what to expect because they're pretty much going to give you everything you got in the first movie, double.
Not only
with
that,
interest.
but then they're also throwing a Catherine Zeta-Jones at you and a mentally dilapidated Anthony Hopkins.
I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll also take the Neil McDonough because I love Neil McDonough. Neil McDonough is one of those guys. I'm so sad he's not a bigger actor. It breaks my heart that he is not a bigger name than what he is. But no, it's like I said, I'm gonna go down the cast list on this one. We already know you got Bruce Willis. You know you got Bruce Willis. I know you got Bruce Willis. You know you got Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis is just fucking amazing.
Indeed.
You got Helen Mirren, lovely, gorgeous, sexy Helen Mirren. I'm sorry. Look. I'm not saying I'm into doing old chicks, but if you were ever gonna do an old chick, I'm just gonna say you wouldn't have to put a gun to my head to hit up Helen Mirren. I'm sorry, that was fine. That woman is how old is Helen Mirren?
Oh man, let's see. Birthday. She was born in 1945. Dude, holy crap! Head explosion. Her birthday is July 26th.
Holy shit!
The day this fucking movie comes. Oh wait.
Oh wait. No, it's the week after. So yeah. Wait. She's 67 years old. And she is still hotter and has a better body than most women in the entertainment industry today. Think about that for a second. Marinate on that for a second. I'm sorry. I'll do the fuck out of Helen Mirren.
Dude, look, every time I think of Helen Mirren, though, I think of the movie Arthur. I don't.
Oh, yeah.
Arthur, yes. I fucking love that movie. I don't give a damn what you guys say. But hearing her with a Darth Vader helmet on go, "Wash your winky," is hilarious. Oh, so if she tells you to wash your winky, at least it's done sexually.
No, that's... No, and you know what? I will even say this much. One of my favorite movies, one of my all-time favorite movies with her, I want to say it's Shadow Boxer. And I don't. The thing is, it's not even because it's a great movie. Not even because it's a great movie, because it's totally not. But it's just a good, solid, weird ass movie about her being a female assassin, diagnosed with terminal cancer, and also having a relationship with her stepson Mikey, played by Cuba Gooding Jr. That's all you need to know.
Boom.
That's all you need to know, and it gets kinky.
I would.
But no, Red 2, like I said, we got Catherine Zeta-Jones, goddammit. Catherine Zeta-Jones. Sir Anthony Hopkins is in this movie. John Malkovich, who, I think John Malkovich just said, fuck it, dude. I'm just having fun with these roles now. I don't care who I'm playing. You show me the script. If I can have fun with this role, I'm taking it. And you know what? I'm perfectly okay with that, because John Malkovich is an amazing actor.
Dude, if you want to see him like that in real form in a freaking movie, it's Burn After Reading.
Oh, God, yes.
We went and saw that movie in theaters, and we walked out, and we were like, what the fuck did we just watch? I don't know, but it was awesome. Like, have you ever seen Burn After Reading?
Oh, yes.
Okay, I was going to say, like, It's really messed up, but I think that was one of those where he was finally like, you know what? Let's do this.
Yeah, no. He was down.
Like, let's do whatever the fuck. Don't even care.
Now, one thing that I think sticks out on, like, okay, I honestly didn't think Red would ever get a sequel because most people don't know this, but Red is actually based on a comic book. It's one of those comic book movies most people don't realize is a comic book movie.
Dude, most people don't realize The Losers was a comic book movie either.
No, most people know. I think a lot of people were kind of lost on that.
Oh, but I love that movie so much.
But it was. I still loved it. I don't care what anybody says. That movie was good to me. Red was a 3-issue comic book series, and honestly, I kind of felt like they ended the movie decent enough that it didn't even need a sequel. But I mean, from what it looks like, it sounds like they got smart with it and actually put together something that can actually work. And I mean, basically, the gist of it is just, I mean, it's a typical action movie, like ensemble cast action movie. Honestly, if you didn't know any better, Red 2 doesn't look that much different than Expendables 2. As
Yeah.
far as plot, yeah, I mean, just as far as plot goes. But, I mean, it still looks good. It still looks good. And I want to say there's a name on here that I just noticed that has been popping up a lot lately in movies, and I love this guy as an actor, and I'm so glad he's actually getting some American work, and that is, oh God, I'm about to butcher your name, Byung-Hun Lee,
I think that's
who
actually
was,
right.
I think I'm right, I'm pretty good with Korean and Japanese and Chinese names, I'm pretty good with those, but I just want to make sure, but this guy, I'm going to tell you right now, you know who he is from G.I. Joe, he
Yeah,
plays Storm
that's what I was
Shadow.
gonna say is that he's the Storm Shadow in
Mm-hmm.
Joe. Okay, yeah.
But I'm gonna give you guys some homework. I want you guys to do this. I'm gonna give you some homework. There's a movie on Netflix, and it is one of the best movies of 2010 for me, hands down. I actually will go and say it was probably the best movie I saw in 2010. I will make that statement, and that movie is called I Saw the Devil. And that movie, I challenge you to watch that movie. I challenge you.
Oh
I
Lord.
fucking challenge you. Watch it. You will fucking love it. And if you don't love it, well then yeah, that's your problem. But anyway, but yeah, it's on Netflix. You can watch it for stream on Netflix. It's really good. Really, really, really good. It actually stars oh, it doesn't star, but Byung-Hun Lee is the main character of that movie. But his opposite is Min-Sik Choi, who plays the main character of Old Boy, which is being remade here in the States by Spike Lee. So I'm curious about that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what were your thoughts on this movie, Mel? What are your thoughts on Red 2?
Honestly, I'm excited. It's got a lot of aspects that I like. First of all, you put Bruce Willis in anything, and I
Yeah, I
see
was about to say.
anything, and I will see it. As we have said on so many shows before, Bruce Willis is the quintessential action hero for me. Him and Kurt Russell.
Oh
You
God, yeah.
put those two in anything. Like they were my heroes. Now, if one of them would have played Batman, I'd like lost my mind.
I'd have lost my shit.
I would have lost my shit like a shit collector with amnesia. The best thing Dane Cook has ever said, by the way.
Oh
Um,
God.
I loved the first one. I was a little late seeing the first one. I didn't see it until it actually came out on DVD, but I freaking loved it. I love everything CIA, tactical espionage, anything that requires you to have a freaking brain about yourself.
Oh yeah.
And it's all the conspiracies. I love putting all of that together. And then you've got really great actors in it. You've got a solid story.
Mm-hmm.
And I get to see Sir Anthony Hopkins. Like, I couldn't tell you the last time I saw him in a role that looks like this one. Like, if you guys go and you watch the trailer, this is not a serious, put together Anthony Hopkins like we're used to seeing. He always plays, well, besides Hannibal, he plays
Yeah.
very serious, very hierarchy, top of the hierarchy kind of roles. But in this one, they go get him out of a mental institute, and he is. I mean, he's he's crazy, but he's delightfully crazy. He's like, uh, shit, I don't even know. I'm trying to think. He's like Toodles in Hook. Okay, he's
Yeah,
horrible.
that sounds
I was trying
accurate.
to think of his name that whole time. I was like, oh my god, what is his name? Um, that's what he's like. He's delightfully deranged, and yes, I think Helen Mirren is gorgeous. I hope I look as good as she does at her age.
Oh God, have you ever seen the pictures of her? And this is okay, people. I'm about to get weird here.
I'm weird.
Have you ever seen the pictures of Helen Mirren like in her bathing suit? Like when she's like out on the beach, they actually had pictures of her where she was like out in like swimsuit, and she didn't give a damn. She was like, you know what, fuck it, dude, take pictures, I don't care. That woman has a banging body. Oh my god, dude, no, Every woman should want to be Helen Mirren when they grow up. Everyone. And she's not scared to show that body off. That's the thing I love about her. She's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm 67. I do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, especially considering as I'm trying to search for these images that you're talking about, there she is topless. Okay,
Oh wow.
like
Well, there you go. It's like, oh, okay.
Google gives you things you're not sure you were looking for.
I was like, I wasn't looking for that precisely. These were not the droids I was looking for, but okay. But I mean, no, she is just a good-looking woman, and God. Anyway, no, enough about Helen Mirren. Enough about her. Enough about her. No, done. um, I'm excited though. I'm excited for Red 2. I'm curious about it. I'm hoping that it does well. Um, and I'm really hoping that if they can write a good sequel, make another one. I mean, it won't hurt my feelings at all. As long as it's done right, I don't care.
Yeah.
The next one I'll say is R.I.P.D. And that one looks interesting.
It does. I saw the trailer for it when I went to see Band of Steel,
Mm-hmm.
and it's one of those movies where it obviously doesn't take itself too seriously. Um, it's got two really funny, cynical guys in it, and I don't know, it just looks like one of those movies that's there to entertain you, and I'm excited and I want to see it.
Well,
Because that's the most informed thing I've ever said, right? Like,
it's like I just want to see it.
I just want to see things and stuff. I don't know.
It's like, well, here's the thing. Like I said, I won't spend too much time on this one because we did kind of technically get into a little bit of it earlier. But I mean, basically, what this movie R.I.P.D. is it, which is also based on a comic book. It's about this guy named Nick, played by Ryan Reynolds, who gets killed while he's, doing his cop thing, and his soul is, well, I don't even think it's just his soul, I actually think it's just him in general, is teleported to this office building out of nowhere. And it almost kind of works, not much different than Men in Black in that regard, where he discovers, hey, I'm a part of this organization that deals with shit that other people can't see.
Yeah.
But instead of it being aliens, it's demons and ghosts and shit like that. Things like the spirits of the afterlife. And if you can't tell, RIPD stands for Rest in Peace Department. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But it looks interesting. Jeff Bridges is basically playing Rooster Cogburn from when he did the remake of True Grit, only a more jokey version of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm okay with that because I fucking loved his Rooster Cogburn in True Grit. I actually thought that he did a really good job there. And Ryan Reynolds is basically being Ryan Reynolds. He's being charming. He's being affable. He is being what people love. And can I point out a very interesting thing about this movie that actually kind of goes along with Red?
Certainly.
Okay, so I don't know if you caught this.
Oh, I think I know what you're about to say. Go ahead.
So basically, this is what happens when you stop selling pot in the suburbs. Is you decide, fuck it, I'm working for the goddamn police, and the CIA, because Mary Louise Parker is in both of these movies on the same damn day.
They
What the
release
fuck?
on the same day, and she's in R.I.P.D. and Red too.
Yeah, and here's the sad part. She is playing, I want to say, technically the same character.
Yep.
It's like where she's playing, I guess the handler for Ryan Reynolds and Jeff Bridges in R.I.P.D. And she's technically kind of the handler in Red 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not mad. Get your money. Get your money. But one thing that I didn't talk about is Kevin Bacon, and I can't talk about Kevin Bacon enough because Kevin Bacon is fucking awesome, and also, the oh god, Stephanie, I think is it Sostak?
Mhm.
She was in Iron Man 3 as the chick that Tony had to fight in the diner. She is also in this movie as well, which is weird because I've seen two different people that played minor roles in Iron Man 3 and other movies so far, and it's kind of interesting because James Badgedale, who played Eric Savin in Iron Man 3, was in World War Z for like a bit part. And it's like, now I got this chick in R.I.P.D. What the fuck? I mean, these people just getting around.
Yeah.
Everybody just doing the do. But but I mean, one of the cool things about this movie is that as much as people say it looks like Men in Black, um, you know what? Maybe that'll entice people to go see it. Who knows? But I actually think this could stand to be better than Men in Black. And honestly, Ryan Reynolds, I really want this movie to do good because as good of an actor as he does attach himself to some properties that don't get off the ground very well.
Like what he ended up. Well, he ended up abandoning Highlander.
Yeah, he
Have you?
abandoned
Yeah, I
Highlander,
wrote an article
which
about.
we posted that up on the WordPress site, on the realistlounge.wordpress.com. You can actually go read it. And Green Lantern didn't do him any favors. And that wasn't even entirely his fault. That was the production. That wasn't his fault. A lot of people want to blame him for that movie. No, Ryan Reynolds did the best he could with what he had. That movie was doomed from Jump Street.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I am of the mind that if they make another Green Lantern, just get Jon Stewart out. Because they actually took a poll on IGN as to who they felt should be the next Green Lantern. Who should be the next character that they feature in Green Lantern. And honestly, I'm kind of surprised, and my faith in America has been renewed.
Hmm.
Of the votes, Jon Stewart got 61%.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah, I was like, wow, because I was kind of thinking, you know what, I'm gonna vote for Jon Stewart because you know what, he's my favorite Green Lantern, and I was like, no, nobody's gonna vote for him. He's gonna get swept under the rug. Nobody's gonna give a shit about him because he's the Black Green Lantern, and nobody cares about the Black Green Lantern. And it was like, oh,
Like, oh,
okay.
oh.
Actually, Hal Jordan barely had was like a distant second place. He almost lost to Guy Gardner. If
Yeah.
that says anything. Um, and I don't know. Like I said, it just Ryan Reynolds has picked some bad movies, and it's not like I said, it's not his fault. It's just he hasn't backed the right ponies. Um, but I'm hoping this works out for him because he needs a hit. He needs a hit like Pookie from New Jack City needs a hit. He needs a hit now.
Well, dude, I mean, he's got two coming out this year. One of which is a kids movie. That's Turbo.
Yeah,
And it
Turbo. I
looks,
think Turbo. He's gonna make money on that one
which
because that actually looks
I
cute.
think that looks good. I was like, man, I totally see that.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's got one, two, three. He's got four movies, 2013, 2014, that are pre and post production. But he has also said that he will play Deadpool in his own movie, and they're at the script stage.
Yeah, no, he said he's down. He's ready to do it.
Let's just
It's a
see
matter of getting it done.
if it happens, right? Because
Yeah. Um, but like I said, yeah, I'm actually looking forward to this movie. I like, and Mel, we've said this before. I never go into a movie wanting to hate it. I never do, because if I'm gonna pay money to see a movie, I'm not going to sit there and be like, I'm gonna fucking hate this. Because I'm
yeah,
not gonna pay money to go see it. Fuck it. I just won't. I just won't go see it. And we'll all be better for it. But I want this movie to be good, because if I pay my money, I want to see a good film. And I love Ryan Reynolds. I love Jeff Bridges. I love Mary Louise Parker. Everybody in this movie, there are people who I think are good actors. Um, but that being said, let's talk about the 1 million ton gorilla in the room, and the reason we came to this dance, and what may possibly rejuvenate and breathe new life into this franchise after that turd that got dropped a while back, and that is the Wolverine.
yes.
The Wolverine looks good. It looks damn good. Um, it looks mighty good.
Mighty fine.
Look. You want to look? I tell you what, it looks mighty fine, like MYTEE. FYNE. That's how good it looks. But no, it's like, once again, Hugh Jackman's come back and he's become the quintessential Wolverine,
And
and that's weird because he doesn't fit the look really. At least, well, not the height anyway.
yeah, he's actually a little too, like, he's not hunched over enough. But
No, he's like damn near 6 feet tall, if I'm not mistaken, if not 6 feet
yeah, I
tall.
believe he is. But I've got to say that I am very happy that he's still Wolverine. Like, he's sticking to it.
And he loves the
He's
character. He
yeah,
loves playing the character.
it makes me happy because usually Hollywood is like you start out doing something you love and then you're like, all right, fuck it, and then they give it to somebody else. So I'm glad that
Yeah,
hasn't
no.
happened.
No, I'm glad they haven't done that to him yet, because that would actually really hurt my feelings. But I will say this. I originally thought this movie was like a prequel, like yet another like origins story, but it actually takes place after X-Men Last Stand.
I thought it was an origin story too, and now I'm reading it and I'm like, oh well, that's not
Yeah.
origin.
Yeah, because it actually takes us, because we were talking about this before when Famke Janssen was announced as being in it, and we are like, oh, wait a minute, that's weird. But no, this is actually, it takes place after Last Stand, and it seems like even though they're acknowledging Last Stand exists, unlike First Class, I guess because they got Days of Future Past coming out, and that's all a part of the same universe, but Famke Janssen's in it. They have Will Yun Lee is playing the Silver Samurai, which is one of my favorite not even B-list, D-list X-Men characters. And they've also got Brian T, who I'm so shocked is not a bigger actor than what he is, and I think it's only because he's Asian. But no, Brian T. A lot of people, you may not know this, but he's playing Liu Kang in the Mortal Kombat Legacy second season, and he's also kind of a I don't know, he kind of bounces around. I mean, he does a lot of different shit. He's been on so many different TV shows. He does voices for video games. God, he was in fucking Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, for Christ's sakes. He was DK. And I mean, he gets around, but you may know him, you may not, who knows. But I think he's a great actor.
Well, the thing about him is he literally is in like everything, every big TV show, Bones, CSI. I see him.
Grim.
He's in Grimm. He's in all of these, and he's in like, I mean, just so much stuff but I don't know who he is.
Right, he's that guy that you see in everything, but you don't realize why you know who he is. And honestly, I think he's a great actor. I'm so sad that he isn't a bigger name than what he is. And like I said, I honestly believe it's only because he's Asian. And Asians don't have that kind of marketability that other actors have.
Yeah, that is
But
true.
I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is, and I accept it. But hey,
I don't have to like
do
it.
what you gotta do. Yeah, I don't have to like it. But we also got Svetlana
Yeah,
Kodchenkova.
I was like, dude, I can't even separate the freaking letters apart. So
Yeah, about that.
I was feeling a
Yeah.
little dyslexic. Code.
Oh no,
Code.
you wasn't. It wasn't just you. It wasn't just you. I'm and here's another one I want to throw out too, because like and see, I'm so glad that they had the balls to do this, because okay, let's go ahead and put this out in Front Street. This is actually this is an adaptation of an old Chris Claremont Frank Miller run. Back when Wolverine goes to Japan and is basically dealing with issues over there from his past, and obviously some new foils. But basically, this is where he meets the Silver Samurai. This is where he meets a lot of these characters like Viper, and so on and so forth. That's actually who the woman, who I will not try and repronounce her name again, is playing. But they actually kept with a very Japanese-centric cast, and I could not be happier, because so many times we get these movies, and it's like, all right, well, we're doing this Japanese-centric story, so we're going to hire all these white folks to play these Japanese people. And it sounds terrible on my part, but I mean, really think about what I'm saying. And when we talked about this with Akira, where they were going to whitewash the entire cast. It was not going to have any Japanese people in it, despite the fact that it was going to take place in Tokyo, and they were going to maintain the Japanese names of the characters.
Right.
To me, that's crazy. When you have all these amazing Asian actors out there working hard. And I'm so glad that they got Hiroyuki Sanada, because people, if you haven't seen The Last Samurai or Twilight Samurai or Sunshine, do yourself a favor, go see this shit, because that man is an amazing actor. You will know him as the guy who gave Tom Cruise a lot of shit in The Last Samurai.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah. He was that dude. And they also have oh god, I'm gonna fuck her name up. Rila Fukushima. Yeah, there we go. Got it. I did it. Yeah, what?
Okay.
She's actually a kind of new actress. She's not really in a lot of stuff. She's really only got a couple of credits to her name as an actress, but she looks like she's handling this role pretty well. And one thing I have to say, Mel, I don't know if you saw that last trailer, but looks like they're letting Wolverine let those claws loose.
It looks beautiful. I'm quite excited to see it. I'm glad that they have the continuity with the characters. The trailers are stupidly badass. Like, some trailers don't make me excited even for things I love. Getting tingly in all kinds of places. I'm so excited about it. I love Wolverine. Man. So
no, I am too. Well, I think we've sufficiently serenaded the masses with our geek culture and musings and whatnot. I will say that maybe next week, depending on what kind of responses we get, I'm going to actually reach out to everybody and say, hey, if you got questions for us or things you want us to cover, let us know. You can actually email us at realistlounge@gmail.com, and you can also let us know on our Facebook and Twitter pages. You can find us as Realist Lounge. Now, and I'm going to go ahead and say, I don't really have anything else to add. What about you, Mel?
No, man, I'm good. I think we've yacked a bunch about our favorite stuff. We're both going to be hoarse as hell after the end of it. And, no, I'm good.
Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and sign it out here. And like I said, guys, keep it real with us like we keep it real with you. And stay tuned for the next episode.